Hi, and welcome everyone to Wednesday. This is our first time having Wednesday for the Game Changers. I want to start by saying thank you for Hope for having this beautiful t shirt. I know that she
It's
did something beautiful
gorgeous.
for Wendy before, and I was so jealous, but she did something for me, and I wore it tonight. So I really
She's
appreciate it, Hope.
amazing.
She is amazing. So women support women and we support that. So thank you so much, Hope, for doing that. Welcome to the Game Changers podcast. In this 28th episode, we are thrilled to have Tipp Major joining us. We appreciate you all for tuning in once again to be part of the conversation. We're profoundly grateful for the support of Evan, Iggy, JC, and the TSA crew in providing us with this platform to engage with incredible individuals in our community. Join us as we delve into the lives and stories of our guests, exploring their deepest secrets, experiences with fantasy football, and much more. The Game Changers is not just a show, it has evolved into a cherished community for us, and we are excited to share this journey with you all. Wendy, I missed you last week.
I know. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, I had a great time at the concert. It was fantastic, but I had major FOMO. Like I was like, I'm not at my show. I'm missing out. I'm missing on Hutch and Andy. And but you know what? Doug sat in for me, and I wanted to thank him. He did a great job. I got to watch the replay. What a fantastic show! So thanks everybody. I just want to say hi because I missed everyone.
We missed you too.
Welcome. And I also wanted to express my condolences and on behalf of TSA, the condolences to Carla on the loss of your uncle. We're thinking about you. We love you. And if there's anything we can do, you know where we're at. You're my sister.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for
All
that.
right. So we're glad that you're here. I think you needed to be here and be here with our guests and everyone in the chat. So why don't you introduce our guests for us, Carla?
Tip Major, though we have not crossed paths in person, I have been intrigued by your journey thus far. Transitioning from a family man and co-host along Bob Harris to your involvement in Thursday Checkdown with Greg Kellogg, you bring a fresh perspective to the content realm. While also collaborating with High Point, your role as a Raider correspondent and TSA family crew member stands out. I'm eager to learn more about you during tonight's show. Tip, welcome. And how are you tonight?
Oh wow, thank you guys so much. I mean, that was beautiful, man. I really appreciate it. I'm just humbled to be here. I mean, you guys have had some amazing guests through here, and I'm like, me? You
Yeah,
want to
you're
talk to me?
family.
I'm like,
Tip,
I
you're
mean, yeah,
family. What are you talking
we
about?
are we are family. I mean, definitely. But yeah, I was just like, okay, all right, family. Let's get together. Let's have a cookout. Let's do it.
Even
Definitely.
hey, Bob Harris is even here. He came because of you, Tip. Check it
Bob,
out.
Bob, what is up, Bob? Love you, man.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, we have to start off. I did not plan on starting the show off this way. This is like totally off the rails, but I know you're dying to talk about this. So we're just going to get it out of the way at the beginning of the show because this show is not about football, what's going on, but you have to tell it. What are the thoughts about what happened today, Tip?
Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, like, I was on my way to Costco when it happened. I need to get the dog some food. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to Costco. They just opened up, and then all of a sudden I get like a notification on my phone. And the notification was funny. It said, who's gonna be the new number one receiver in Buffalo? And I was like, it's Stefan Diggs, duh. Like, what are you talking about? Who is this? What app is this? And I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be Stefan. And I mean, yeah, he had a down year last year, but it's gonna be him. And then I get some more alerts. You know, I'm driving. I park at Costco, and I get this alert, and it says Houston Texans now have Stephon Diggs, and I'm like, April Fools was 2 days ago. Hold on, guys. What's really going on? And yeah, I mean, when I saw this, I was floored. I was like, wow. I mean, the Texans are all in. Um, yeah, it's a really crazy scenario for the Houston Texans because they wanted to get a wide receiver. They were looking at Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen was possibly going to be a Houston Texan, but they didn't get him. Obviously, he's with the Bears, and I think this is solidifying. You know, we all Nico Collins is a great, great, great wide receiver, but is he an alpha? That's the question. You know, we all know that. Stephon Diggs is an alpha. He's an alpha guy. So with
Yeah,
him,
you know what though? He was posting some weird tweets and stuff. Weren't you suspicious? Like he was going
you
somewhere?
know, I don't ever like to get in the minds of these guys because these guys are different. You know, I mean, I like to say that they could be different. They can be who they are. That's fine. Some of them are kind of quirky, I guess. Yeah, but you know what, man? I look at what's on the field, and on the field, Stephon Diggs is still a baller in my opinion. And I think that partnering him up with the young C.J. Stroud, who's just, I mean, it's hard to say. Seems like he's a veteran already, but well, he is now. But that rookie season he had was insane, and you partner him up with that, along with Joe Mixon, along with this offensive unit that they have. You know, a decent offensive line too. These Texans, they want to surpass Mahomes. They want to give him every shot that he can, and I mean, they're young. They're a young team, and Mahomes is still Mahomes. But yeah, man, this is going to be really awesome
So was
for
your
the
phone
Texans.
like? Could you not wait to get all of your
Oh,
stuff
I,
posted? And
I,
did you go into Costco? That's what I want to know. That's what the people want to know. Did you go into
Mom's
Costco, or did
birthday.
you sit inside of your truck or your vehicle
no,
and do all
yo,
this?
Wendy, I did. I went to Costco about 30 minutes later because I was just on my computer. I mean, on my phone,
See,
just like what's going, like
I knew it. I knew
just
it.
going nuts. And yeah, so I mean, it did end up going to Costco. I got my dog some food. You know, Frankie, he did have to wait a little longer, but he had already eaten that morning, but he had to wait a little longer for some food. But
Full disclosure, everyone. The dog had
yeah, no,
eaten.
we fed him before, so no, he was good, but he still had to wait a little longer. But I'm telling you, like, that was insane. And that's the thing I love about football. I love all sports, but with football, it's even though it's not year round with the guys being on the field, it is year round because we're in March or April, just beginning of April, and we're getting news like this. The season has been done for 2 months now, so it's like it's still, and we got the draft coming up. We got the training camp. Fantasy's about to blow back up. It's insane. It's insane, guys.
What
I
is
love
going
it.
to happen with Josh Allen? Okay, who's he
You know,
going to
I,
turn to?
you know,
Himself? I mean,
he
it's
might.
like
He
he
might.
can run,
Yeah.
but can he catch his own balls too? I
Yeah.
don't think
Right.
so.
Right. Right. Well, no. I mean, like, one thing I want to say is, yes, Stephon Diggs is a huge. I mean, anytime you got a guy who commands that much target share, it's huge. But you got Shakir, which I really like. He flashed a little bit last year. They did get rid of Gabe Davis, but they also got Curtis Samuel. I think they're definitely going to go with somebody in the draft. They have to, or try to get maybe T Higgins, Brandon Ayuk. I don't know,
I
but
I like the T Higgins call.
yeah,
I would
yeah,
I would go for that.
yeah, and
You
and
know,
then and let's not forget about Dalton Kincaid. I mean, when this kid flashed, he flashed. So I like Dalton Kincaid too. So I think he's the main beneficiary with Khalil Shakir being the I think the wide receiver right now. I
all
like
right.
Curtis
So,
Samuel though.
is there anything else that you want to talk about on this subject before we move on?
We're good.
We
I
good?
got my fix.
All
I
right.
got my fix.
All right. There you
You
go,
know, I was
Carla.
getting,
Carla.
I was starting to break out in hives, but
I knew we
you
had to
know,
get out of
you
the
know
way.
me.
Tip, I love your background. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm from Houston, Texas. My mom was an educator. My dad,
Me
he was
too.
like He's a salesman. Yeah, yeah, Carla, I know he was in sales. Um, I you know, love the community out here. It's grown a lot more. It's a very diverse city. Um, I love it here, man. It's fun. My mom passed away in 2015.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, 2014. My sister passed away in 2015. My oldest
I'm
sister,
sorry.
and
Sorry.
like we've always been sports. Like my dad, he was always had me doing something, playing something or watching something with him on TV. So I've always been into sports. But a lot of people may not know my first love is actually music. Now I don't play instruments. I played a little in high school, but nothing like just to kind of get through, in middle school. But I love music. I mean, my dad when he was in college, he was a DJ, so he's got all old records and stuff, and I got my own little record
I
collection
see
as
that.
well. Yeah, no, I got some, and I mean, I like almost anything. I don't really like the country music. I'm not really into that too much. I give it a shot, but I love anything else, any and everything else. I'm down. But yeah, I love music. Always loved music. Love sports. I have two daughters named Marley and Lauren. They're 11 and 8, or 12 and 8. And Marley just turned 12, excuse me, and 8, and Lauren is about to turn 9. I have a girlfriend. Her name is Alana. Greg has actually met Alana.
Oh,
We
nice.
yeah, we went out a couple of times, or one time, excuse me, and I met Greg's wife, Janie. She's amazing. Her and my girlfriend hit it off right away because Janie had these beautiful beads on her wrist that she got from Thailand, and my girlfriend was like, "Oh, let me tell me about your beads." My girl, and that's exactly how she is too. She's very like animated and cute.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and she has two beautiful kids, Mojave and Indy. So we are working to become a blended family. It's
Nice.
Nice.
fun. It's it's challenging. There are challenges because anytime you get six people together with personalities,
I agree.
um, it's going to be a challenge, but we have, you know watched different seminars on blended families. We've read different articles on blended families, and we want to go with it, man. And the love that I have for her and she has for me, it trounces all of that, to be honest with you. And it's beautiful because
Sounds
we
something.
both
Yes.
have come from difficult relationships in the past, and it's just really cool to see the support that we have for one another. In a couple of weeks, or actually about 3 weeks, we're going to take our first family trip together.
Oh,
And
yay. Where are you
we
going?
we're going to Hot Springs, Arkansas. So we decided to make sure
Nice.
it's a quick trip, and we decided to make sure it's only one day, so that way we could kind of feel each other
Oh,
out. We didn't want to go for a whole week and then at each other's throat after that week. So we were like, let's just do one
Testing
day.
the
Just
waters.
test the water. See, no, but it's I'm being silly because our kids, they get along so well. It's beautiful because Mojave, Marley, and Lauren. Mojave's 14, Marley's 12, and Lauren's 8. They all
close
kind of
ages.
clump in together, And Mojave loves to play. They love to play. Indigo, which is my girlfriend's daughter. She um is more. She's 16. You know how 16-year-olds are.
Yes.
Very just kind of to themselves, leave me alone. But as soon as their friends call, they're all like, like it's like, okay, that they're they still got somewhat of a fun spirit. But I will tell you this: once we get in front of animals, or we go outside and check out nature, or bugs, Indigo is ready to
Yeah.
go, and I love it. I love it. I love it. We went to dinner a while back, and I'll never forget this. It was for my girlfriend's mom's birthday, and we were walking along this path, and there was a frog. Indigo goes, "Oh, oh!" And I'm like, "Are you okay? What's up?" She's like, "A frog!" And she jumps at it and she grabs it and she picks up the frog. And my girls are like, "Oh, cool!" And they want to touch it, and of course, Mojave and the whole family, and then you got to deal with them saying, "Can we keep it?" No, you cannot keep it. But it's really cool when our families do cross together because we all have common interests and common loves like nature, um, you know, just hanging out with each other. But yeah,
That's amazing.
it's been fun. It's been fun. I appreciate that.
That's
So
really
so
amazing. Thank you for sharing that,
Yeah,
Ted.
yeah,
I'm gonna
that
share
is
on
something else.
Twitter the picture, the family picture when you go out. You're gonna share
say it
it with
again.
us. You're
Oh, to
gonna
share
share
it
the
with you guys. Well,
picture.
okay, look. Now here's a reason. Okay, there is a reason why I don't share a lot of pictures of the family.
I know. It's
Alana has said, and Alana's my girlfriend. She says when you put a rock on my finger, then you can share
oh
me to the world. And I was like,
You know what? And that's fair. I'm gonna give that to you. That is fair.
wow.
hey, I was like, oh,
Okay.
single lady, oh, single
Yeah.
lady. I was like, when she said that, I was like, dang, like because don't get it wrong, like we take selfies, like we are like, she's always like, boo, let's take a selfie, and then she's like, and then we're taking selfies, right? But she's like, she will not post it.
Tip, I love Alana. Are you bringing her to the expo?
She's coming. Yeah, she's coming.
Oh, that's
She's coming. Yeah,
awesome.
she was like, I want to see
Oh
what this fantasy.
my
She's like, I want to see what this fantasy football stuff's really about. Like, I'm over here telling her it's like so fun, and I'm meeting all these amazing people, and I've been just loving fantasy football since 2005, been playing it, and she's just like, I like football, so and Greg was like, you should get her to play with in the ladies league, and I was
Oh,
like,
yes, to join the battle of the sexes.
yeah, yeah. So
Sure.
so we'll see. I mean, I think she needs a practice run first.
It's best
God.
ball. It's best ball, man. And it should be
Yeah,
Shantae,
fair
you stay.
for sure.
Shantae, you stay, Tip, then. You're good.
yeah, yeah. Right. But
So,
no,
like,
she's
when you guys first met and you were just like, hey, this is what do you do for a living? I mean, do you have a job that you go to during the day? What do you do?
yes. So so yeah, no, I sit at home all day and just tweet all day.
You could, because I'm sure you could make a lot of money because you're really
Oh
good
man,
at it.
oh
But
man, you
that's the
know,
thing. I'm sure most of us all have day jobs. We all
absolutely,
have,
yeah.
except people like Bob Harris. This is his job. You
man,
know.
man, I'm telling you, yeah.
So what
Uh,
do you do when you're
so
not creating content?
So I am actually a longshoreman, and I'll tell you exactly what that is. So I work at the Port of Houston. Port Houston has three ports. So I work at the Port of Houston. I do work in surrounding ports as well, and I do anything from driving trucks to working on the ship, taking cargo off, putting cargo on. I work underneath the cranes, work like do those types of things
Wow.
with the trucks and making sure the trucks are all ready to go. I let's see, out yesterday, for instance, I was driving driving cars off of the ship that was transporting the cars, and then a couple of weeks ago I was driving like heavy duty cranes off of the ship too. So I that's what a longshoreman does. We do it kind of all part of a union. So I'm lower on seniority right now, but so I get a lot of the late night jobs all the senior guys don't necessarily want, but it's so much fun. I have fun doing it.
That
That's
sounds
nice.
like a lot of work, number one. And number two, how do you find time? How do you balance that with your family and creating content?
Oh, it's difficult. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, it's so easy. It's hard because when you have something, you know, thank goodness I was off today because something like that Stefan Diggs happening, if I was at work underneath a crane, I'm not gonna be like
Right.
looking at my phone and this like 3 million pound crane is up above my head. Like, first of all, I'll get in trouble, but
Yeah.
it's just
You
crazy
should.
how right. It's crazy how like stuff just happens. It just I find a way to um tweet, but then I also find a way to make sure I kind of take a break from everything too, because if I do too much of the tweeting, too much, it's like okay, let them know that you do work, or you do have a life too. So it is hard, and then family stuff too. I'm not gonna say that I'm the best, but I do try to put my phone away when there's sporting events, when there's like concerts, things like that. I really, really do try. Like, I took my daughter to practice the other day, and I was like, nope, I'm not looking at my phone.
Good.
And
I love it.
it's tough though. It is so tough because you know working and doing the content, you want to be relevant. You want to be
Hmm.
maybe not the first one to say it or do it, but you want to be relevant with the news that's going on. But you also have to understand, hey, you have a family, you have a life as well. So it is challenging, but I welcome the challenge. I love it. I like the challenge. I do find time, where I can just sit, lunch break. All right, what did I miss? Okay, check up on the news. Okay, cool. Boo doo doom. Let me tweet something out regarding it, and then just go from there.
Could you imagine if you were working today and you got on your lunch break and you looked on your phone and you saw the Stefan Diggs thing?
Yeah,
You would have lost your mind, man.
yeah.
So it was
Matt,
meant to be.
yeah, Mr. Matt Donnelly, who I guess we work together or whatnot, but he's cool, and he had tweeted out in the thread that I'm in, or a chat that I'm in. He was like, "Why does stuff have to happen on the day that I'm working?" Like, and I was just like, "Oh, I know. And I just know I know what he feels like." Yeah.
So, Tip, I need to ask you about Generation Fantasy Sport. So, what
Yes.
I want you to share the inspiration behind creating Generation Fantasy Sport and what unique features set it apart from traditional fantasy sports
Yeah.
platforms.
Well, shout out to Imran. I am not gonna butcher your last name. I know you told me, but shout out to him, his team, his guys. He's a co-founder of the Generations Fantasy, and him and his friends got together and they were like, "How can we make a difference in the fantasy community?" Fantasy nowadays, you have Dynasty, you got Redraft, Guillotine leagues. I know Wendy's a part of a few Guillotine leagues.
Yep.
Guillotine leagues, IDP. You have all sorts of different ways to play fantasy football or fantasy sports in general. Well, what these guys have done, and what I really think is cool, is they incorporated former players, Hall of Famers, or they could be not necessarily really good players. But I like what he did because as long as you have 3 years of stats or more, then you would be able to um, play in this game. So you have a regular draft just like you would. You have your own team just like you would in fantasy football. But I could have Jerry Rice on my team. I could have LaDainian Tomlinson on my team, which I did, and I can also have Justin Jefferson or Stephon Diggs. I could have him on my team. Current
I
players,
mean,
so it's really cool.
aren't the possibilities kind of limitless? I mean, if you can
It
get
is.
any, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, there's not a limited amount of players yet, but they have all of the stats for those players. But their dream is to not only do fantasy football, to do basketball, to do all of the sports, and then intertwine those sports together, where you can have like this legends team, where it could be like I can have Wayne Gretzky partnered up with Joe Montana and Bo Jackson, and then you know what? Let me sprinkle a little bit of Derek Jeter in there, and they'll be all on one team, and they're getting those points, and you have like a legends team. It's really cool what their thoughts and their concept is. So I'm really really excited for what they had. We had Imran on our show with Greg and myself a few weeks ago, and he's very passionate about it, which made me passionate about it. And I played in their first draft, their beta testing, and it was fun. It was really quick and easy draft. It was it played at 1 o'clock every day. The way that the older players or the players that get their points is it's randomized, so it will randomly pick a day, excuse me, a year, and then a week, and then you get the points from that player for that week. So if you get, like, for instance, Alvin Kamara had that Christmas Day 6 touchdown game. You could actually get that if you drafted Alvin Kamara, and it's randomized. But there's also strategies to it too, because if you get that player and they play one snap in a game, but they get hurt in their first snap, for instance, like an Aaron Rodgers played 4 snaps and he got hurt, so he got 0 points. So you can get that. You can get a person who got 0 points because for the simple fact that they actually played one snap in that game. So it's
Okay,
really, really cool.
but drafting like both and past and present players sound fascinating. Now, how do you balance historical stats with current performances when building your team?
Yeah, so you take the so for instance, you could take the player from last year. Like let's say we take Stephon Diggs, right? So you place
Yeah,
take Stephon Diggs, it'll
you
say
have to put
Stephon,
Diggs in.
huh?
You have to put Diggs in the
Oh, I
team.
got to. I mean, so let's say we put him on there, and week 8, let's say he had, I don't have it in front of me. Let's say he had 65 yards and a touchdown. So you get those points from that week 8 from him randomly generate that randomization of that.
Yeah.
So that's how you get it. Now, I don't know what they're thinking when the season starts, because this they want to right now they're looking for it to be more of a after the season is over with type thing where you can kind of have fun. But I'm pretty sure that they're going to incorporate current the season that's going on as well once it starts too. That is definitely a possibility, which would be really cool. Because then you can have like a team full of current players and then one like legend, or something like that that'll like throw you off the top. So
Was that the
Yeah.
thing that you guys all drafted? Like
yes,
JC was in it, and
yes,
Mel was in it, and Greg. That was the same thing,
that was
and
it.
that was just like a test type thing.
A beta testing, yes, yeah, it sure was. You got it.
Yeah, it looked like you guys had a good time. Everybody
Oh, I
was.
had a blast. It was like every time at 1 o'clock, I was like, all right, am I going to win? And I didn't do good at all. I think I know I had a losing record. So I was like, all right, let me see what I did. Let's see what happens. I got like one week I had like Cam Newton, and I think he scored like 1 point. And I was like, man, okay. I'm trying to figure out like the best way. Do I get a running quarterback? Do I get not a? But yeah, it was fun. It was very challenging.
So, how did you end up providing content with sports affiliation? How did you get involved here?
Yeah, I I've known about Greg Kellogg for a very, very, very long time. I remember looking at his articles, and I was always like, "Oh, he has a cool name, Kellogg, like cornflakes." And he's cool. Like I love Greg. And one
He is
day,
cool.
one day I was on the sports affiliation space because I was kind of learning what like spaces is. I just kind of started mine. Like I just started doing this content thing last year, and you know I've,
Wow.
I've always felt like I had it in me. But one thing I do yoga, and one
Oh.
day I was doing yoga, and I kind of had like an epiphany. I was like, okay, like maybe you can do this. Stop doubting yourself. Just get out there and do it. So anyway, so I got on a space with JC, and I remember JC Iggy was there. Uh, Scott Angle was there. Scott the King Angle. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, Scott the
Love
King
him.
Angle. I was like, oh, that's the guy on XM Radio. Like I was like, oh,
I
I
would
remember
feel
him
the
and
same
Corey Parsons.
way.
I remember him and Corey Parsons and Adam Ronis. They used to always like yuck it up in the morning. And so anyway, so I remember them, and at first I was intimidated. I was like, oh my God, these guys are like. So I got on there. I was like, screw it. If I make a fool out of myself, oh well. So I get on there and I start talking to him, and Greg followed me, and then I kind of got on some more spaces with him. Then I asked him to come onto my space, and he's such a man, Greg. Me and him don't always see eye to eye, which I love, but he's such a sweet dude, man. Like he is
I
a
know.
very, very, very sweet man. Like,
I agree.
like, man. Like you mess with Greg, you messing with me. So like, I will come to his defense, but I don't agree with him all the time. Like all the stuff. I'll be like, Greg, the kid, no. But I cut for him. So anyway, um, Greg always tells a story about, how he told me, he was like, man, I would really like to work with you, but he was like, are you busy? This, that, whatever. And I was like, I'm busy, but I'm still learning everything, Greg. And I said I would like to work with you. I think it would be cool. And at the time there an opening had came up, and Greg was like, hey, would you like to come work with us at the Sports Affiliation? And I was like, yeah, I like Iggy, I like JC. Um, and I was like, cool, I want to do it. And then we started doing a space together, um, and then we started doing this podcast together, and it was so fun. Look, there he is. Are you talking about me yet,
No, we're
Greg?
not.
Stop, Greg, Greg. Look, man, we're talking about another Greg.
Stop.
No, we're not.
It's Greg Corn Pops.
Greg Corn Pops, yeah, not Greg Kellogg.
Greg Kellogg.
Right. Greg Frosted Flakes.
I love you, Greg.
Now, Greg is an amazing man. He's an amazing person. Like, he's really. I kind of like. It's kind of funny. I kind of looked up, and Alana said, he could be like your fantasy football dad. I was like, oh. I mean, yeah, he's old enough to, I guess, be my dad. But he was like, and she was like, well, I mean, he could take, help you along, and he's done nothing but that. He's done nothing but that. He's even, helped critique some of my articles, and give me some advice there, which was really cool, coming from him. And I mean, he's just an amazing person. I mean, really,
Well,
really.
what's the show that now you have with Greg and Bob Harris, right?
Well, so Bob Harris and I do a space on Mondays. Look, here he goes. See, he said we disagree because Tipp is wrong so often. Thanks, Greg. I'm not ever wrong, Greg. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, if I'm wrong, I will own up to it, Greg. But anyway, but no. So we do a space. We did one on this past season on Mondays. A friend of mine named Stan, he came up to me and asked if I would, do it, and I was like, no, Stan, I don't want to work with Bob Harris. No, like, leave me alone. I'm too busy. Like, like, come on. And I was like, hell yeah, I want to work with Bob Harris. What do you think? Like, dude, like, come on, man. And then he was like, well, I'm gonna try to arrange it. And in the back of my head, I'm not gonna, because I'm just always kind of skeptical about things. He says, Greg is funny. I'm sorry, Greg, you're not old.
Gold, Greg. You're gold.
You're golden. There you go. No, so he came up to me. He was like, "Hey, Bob Harris agreed to it," and I was like, "What?" Like, oh my god! Like, I thought Bob. Look, come on now. I know the man is busy, and I know he's an amazing, very amazing person. Like if
look,
what I just said about Greg, or exactly what I just said about Greg times 3 with Bob. It's like, I mean,
you're a lucky guy, Tipp.
I'm blessed, and I do like what Greg told me. Greg said, he was like, there are no bad people in this industry, and if you are a bad person, you will get weeded out. When he said that, I told myself, you cannot be a bad person, and I'm not a bad person. I'm always just like loving and just want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to succeed and eat. Even if it takes a long time, I understand this is not something that's going to net you, money right away. But I also just have so much fun with it, and that's the thing. Yeah. And Greg sat down with me and he said, "Tipp, are you still having fun with this?" And I said, "Greg, I have fun every day." Well, then keep doing it. He said, "Once you stop having fun with this, then it will not." I'm not saying it's not going to get hard. He said, it's going to get harder. But as soon as you stop having fun with it, then you need to let it go. And another thing Greg said is, don't ever let this get in the way of your family. If your family needs you, you need to be with your family. Oh God,
he ages well.
Yeah, he does. Greg's got a nice set of hair. He's got a nice set of hair on him too, man. Like he's got a full set. But anyway, but I do remember Greg saying that. Greg is saying family first, and he's
Important.
yeah, and when he said that, man, it was beautiful. Yeah,
And that's
Yeah.
kind of what, sports affiliation, that's what they convey, is how important they want to be family and inclusive. And that's kind of why I joined. And I think that has a little bit to do with how you joined too.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Because our families are why we do this. Like we really do this to have fun. I mean, hey, if we hit it, hey, that's great. That means we get to
Yeah.
provide more for our families. So that's, I mean, why not? But yeah, so I do appreciate the sports affiliation, and when they were able to have me on, I was like, yeah, that's man, I would really like to.
And
I
you're
think
always so positive. You are. You're just always so
oh no
positive
no
in the
no no no
chats.
no
And
no
you're
don't
like,
don't
yeah.
don't get it twisted now. I will call you out. Like no,
I
like
haven't seen that yet.
oh I no, I mean, you guys gotta you guys have to witness me very how can I say very passionate about what I feel because I will find everything in the world to make sure that it is correct. Like I research like crazy.
Yes.
Like um and sometimes people and the other thing too is if I'm wrong, I'm cool with being like, all right, I was wrong. It's all right. That's cool.
Right.
Um
You
but
fix it. You learn.
that's another, right. That's another reason why I guess I stay so positive because if it goes great, great. If it goes bad, great. All right, I made a mistake. Let's squash it
Yeah.
and go again. I never try to make it personal or like try to get at anybody. I always try to put a little bit of humor in it too, so that way that kind of eases things down. But yeah, anytime I'm on Spaces or on a forum, tweeting, I always try to bring a positive message, but I will be like, no, you got to show me where you saw that because no, please,
I
please
mean, you
show
will
me
not
the
get
article.
anywhere. You will not
You
get
know,
anywhere if
right,
you didn't, right?
right, because
Yeah.
it's just it's and the other thing too that I think a lot of people miss is it's all about your opinions in certain things. Like I put out fun tweets too. Like I don't necessarily all just do football. Like I
Yeah.
put who's the best Willy Wonka? And okay, in my opinion, it is Gene Wilder, right? Like I love Gene Wilder. I think that's the one I grew up on, even though it was like in the '60s.
Yeah.
But that's the one I grew up
Yeah.
on.
It's the
But
best one.
The Johnny Depp one was cool too because it was dark. Like I don't, and I like Tim Burton movies, and so I was like, it's the dark comedy. Now this new one,
With its squeaky gloves.
right. And this new one's cool. It's very whimsical and musical. So when I put that out there, some people were like, "Really? That's a dumb question." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "No, it's not," because I had that same question. I had that same conversation with my daughters, and I told them,
Yeah.
I said, "Marley, who do you think is the best Willy Wonka?" She gave me her opinion. Lauren gave me hers, and I gave mine, and we all had a discussion like about it. And
Have
I can't
different.
even discuss with these adults. Like it's like
Yes.
you are an adult and you're over here acting like a child. Like, come on, man. Like
And
my kids actually had a decent conversation about it. And they weren't like, Dad, you're wrong. That's stupid. No, no, no. No, they were like, oh, I can see what you mean by that. And that's why I tweeted that out so that way I can get other people's opinions and their perspective and their views. And some people said, "Oh, I like Johnny Depp. I think he was the best." And so,
Great.
okay,
Great.
cool.
That's what you asked for. Right. Oh, see, even
Yeah.
Greg says
Look,
Johnny
look,
Depp.
look. See,
Greg, I'm kind of disappointed in that answer, Greg.
I wish that people will, like give their opinion and be respectful to other opinions. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
right.
Nowadays is my opinion and no one else's. And they are so offended, and that's it. I'm done with you. And they
Yeah,
are hiding behind, their computer, and I'm done, and it's me and nobody else.
right.
And this is so wrong. You need to be open for conversation. You need to be respectful, compassionate. We still need to be connected with the outside. We need to be, still connected with people. And I
Hundred
agree with
You
percent.
you
know,
100%.
I will
100%. We need
say
to have this
that
Affiliation.
most of the community that all of us kind of hang with or kind of tight with, it's a pretty darn good community.
Yeah. Oh
I'd
yeah.
Yeah.
say there's way more good than bad, but man, the bad ones, come on, people, let's do better.
I agree.
Let's change the game. Let's be game changers.
There we go.
We,
There it
we are.
is.
We're trying to. One
There it
one
is.
day at a time, Wendy. One day at a time.
One
Tip?
show at a time.
All right.
Yes. What's the weirdest dream you have ever had?
Oh, here we
It's
go.
funny. I dream colors and sounds. Like I don't really dream. Like now I will have dreams where I'm falling. So I'll like I'm like just falling, and I'll wake
Really?
up and yeah, I'll have those type of dreams. But I dream a lot of colors. Um,
Often?
no, not often.
Okay.
Like when I do dream. But yeah, I dream a lot of colors, a lot of sounds, things like that. But I don't. I
Do you
mean, that's
think
probably the
it's related
weirdest.
for music? That's why?
Yeah,
Because you
like
said
I'll do like music, like and I sleep so I sleep with sound frequencies too, so that's probably why I hear a lot of sounds. So um so but I
Maybe.
do see
frequency.
I do colors. Like I see colors and stuff a lot in my sleep.
Nice.
Mhm.
Hey, sometimes it might be better than a dream.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
kind of
I
more
agree.
relaxing.
Yeah, there we go. It is relaxing.
I want to know why you're falling though in your dream.
I don't know, like
Yeah. Like
I've had those
skydiving or just falling
just
or you're
falling, like just like kind of falling, and then you kind of gather yourself, and then you're like, oh, okay, it's good.
do you like wake up in a cold sweat or anything?
You know,
No, no. I'm usually
I
no. I usually I sleep pretty comfortably. Like as far as like my temperature, my body temperature wise, and but I sleep with a lot of fans though. So I just
Oh man, my husband sleeps with one. It's like this little Dyson thing or
yeah.
whatever. Man, it's like my curtains are blowing, and I'm like, this is not cool.
That's
This is
me.
not
That is
cool.
me.
I'm gonna tell you about my falling. It wasn't a dream though. So I watched Herbie. Do you know Herbie?
That
The
car movie.
yeah, the
Yeah.
car
Yeah, yeah,
movie.
yeah, yeah.
The first time I watched it, and we had like two beds over each other, the bunk
Oh,
beds.
yeah.
So I sleep on the bunk bed over my brother. So when I watched that movie, I slept on the on the upper side, and I was dreaming I was driving
Oh,
Herbie. So I fell, not a
oh
dream. I
no.
fell, and then my brother told me to he was waking me up to get my my plush and stuff. I'm like, it's not my plush, it's me. So
Oh
I fell
no.
for real, Trip, not a
Oh
dream. So
no. Oof.
that's falling
Well,
for you.
yeah, that is falling, man. Yeah, that's ugh, yeah.
That's something no one ever heard it.
Okay.
Yeah, I all the secrets come out on this
Oh
show. You
no, I
just
know. I
oh, I
heard
tried
about
to
him.
warn you. I tried to warn you.
Oh man. Oh
Hey,
man.
you know what, Tip? I was reading in your bio, and I'm not sure if I read this right. So correct me if I'm wrong. But what is the Cookout family?
Oh, so Stan, what I spoke about earlier, the one who got Bob Harris and myself connected on the spaces, he's a part of this cookout group. Um, they have Chris Allen on there, who's pretty big in fantasy. Marcus Grant,
I
he's
love them. I love
yeah,
both of them.
yeah. Marcus Grant's awesome. Um, we're trying to have him on the episode with Greg and I. But man, that guy stays busy. And then who else is in there? Tara time. Tara.
Oh yeah,
In
she
there.
was here a few weeks
Yes,
ago.
Yeah,
yeah, she's amazing. She's real sweet.
she is.
Um, and then so
Always.
yeah, so yeah, but yeah, that so I kind of with them they just have started this cookout group, and it's really cool. Imran's in there, the guy from Generation. He's in there, and it's just kind of a group. We just kind of brainstorm and just come up with this wacky, crazy ideas, and it's fun. It's pretty
So
cool.
are most of you going to be at the expo? So you're going to get to meet everybody?
I know I'm gonna be there. Imran's gonna be there. Chris Allen will most likely for sure be there. Stan, I think is going to be. Stan said he's going to be there. Marcus Grant, I'm pretty sure will be there. I
Oh
know he was there
yeah,
last
yeah,
year, so I
yeah.
wasn't there last year, but I'm pretty sure Marcus Grant will be there too. Yeah, oh
You're
yeah.
gonna have so much fun,
I
Tiff.
am excited. I'm
It's gonna
excited.
be
But
amazing.
the cool thing is I can't wait to meet everybody because it's like you said earlier, Wendy. Like we got to finally like face to face meet, but
Right.
like it's gonna be even different when we see each other. Like it's gonna be oh snap,
Yep.
like this would be cool.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the best weekend, and it's gonna go so fast. It's like a wedding. When you get married, it's just the wedding goes so quickly.
uh huh,
The expo goes so fast, and then you're gonna not meet half the people that you really wanted to meet.
Yeah,
So, this is just the way it is, but it's still gonna be the most amazing time. And I can't wait to
yeah.
meet you. That'll be so
Oh
much
yeah,
fun.
it'll be man, we'll
yeah.
have a hell
I
of a
can't
time.
wait either.
And I'm gonna be doing karaoke too. So you guys can
Yeah,
come.
Oh, I can't stay for that. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I feel left out.
yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure somebody will video record it for us. So
I hope so. I hope
yeah.
so.
Ooh, yes. Tip, what could change between now and the season that might matter for fantasy?
Oh,
Mauricio,
that's
too.
a good that's a good question. So like um what could change for me or just in general, like with fantasy in general?
I mean, it could be for you or
Um
fantasy in
no,
general,
I think
whatever you
fantasy in general. I think well these wide receivers, man, these guys coming out of college, this is a very very nice class of wide receivers. So I feel like some of these teams like Buffalo now or Kansas City with the whole Rasheed Rice thing going on. Um, they are going to be adding one of these. Everybody can add one There's I think the class is deep enough for each team to have a good one of these decent to really good wide receivers on their team. So I think that the NFL is going to continue like to be a passing league. Although I do think that with them paying the running backs a little bit now, and the running backs still being what relevant, it could turn into a more balanced league. Look at somebody like Detroit. That's a pretty balanced offense, and they were successful at it. So I think teams are going to start to try to do that a little bit more. You look at what Atlanta did this offseason. Um, I know JC's not big on Kirko, but I am. I think that this guy is really really good. I think this is what he. I think this is what they needed. I really would have liked to see Justin Fields go there, but anybody that they got, I think was definitely an upgrade over who they had last year. Um, but yeah, I think that they could be more of a balanced attack. The Texans now they could be more of a balance. So I think we're going to start to see more balanced football than we're probably really thinking. Um, but it's still just gonna be so much fun. I love football. I love football. Love fantasy football.
I want to go to the draft next year. You
Yeah,
know,
that man, I would love
that
to go to
that's like
something.
yeah, I that's really on my bucket list for next year. I would love to
Yeah.
do that. The combine was great, and if I can't go to the draft, then I would definitely go to the combine as well. But that's something like you have to be able to do that sometime. I think you would just really enjoy that.
Oh, anything combine, training camp, draft, hell, owners meeting, I will go to that.
Yeah.
Like I'll like seriously, I mean that would be cool to actually hear some of these ideas that these guys come up with because it's I don't know, it's some of it to me is like wow, like why did you do that? But some of it's pretty cool too. But yeah, no, anything I would just like you said, I would love to go to it.
Well, with the draft coming up, I mean, I maybe could have gone, but I just can get the time off work again. I just don't think that my boss is going to go for that. But it's coming up, so like we all know who's going to be first, right? We that's for sure. Who do you
Right.
think? What's Minnesota going to do? What are the Vikings going to do?
um, I mean, I think they're definitely going to go for a quarterback. I know a lot of people have been saying this JJ McCarthy guy. Um, I've heard Drake May. I don't really like Drake May.
Yeah, that's
Not that
kind
I
of
don't
what
like
I'm
him,
hearing.
but it's because I'm pretty sure he can do what. But I think I don't know. But JJ McCarthy would be cool. I really like that Penix kid, man. I think he's ready for the NFL.
It seemed
But
like
I
they were
think
really hyping him, but not as hyping him as much anymore. Well,
yeah,
see, there's that's what JC wants
yeah.
right there.
Yeah. Oh, at 23. Yeah, that would be good for you guys, JC. Because I think that they are. I think kind of like Atlanta was last year, a quarterback away. I feel like Minnesota's a quarterback away, especially after doing um, getting Aaron Jones. They got Jefferson. They got Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson. They got a really good offensive line. Their defensive line. They lost some players, but I think they gained a couple of other free agents. But I like Brian Flores. I think he's a hell of a coach. I think that he coached that defense up last year. That defense sneakily against running backs was one of the toughest one in the league. I think only two running backs. I know for sure one of them was DeAndre Swift because he had like something crazy like 170 yards on week 2. But other than that, every other running back they barely sniffed 60 yards rushing. And that's Christian McCaffrey too is on that list. I think they may have had one other guy towards the end of the season, but other than that, man, Minnesota's close. They're very close. Wait. Well, I know Carla's team is the Chiefs. Wendy, I know you're a Cubs fan. Are you in
I
Chicago?
am. No, well, I
No.
live near Chicago. I'm actually a Dolphins fan.
Oh, well, we
You
could
know,
talk
yeah,
about them for about
I
20
even
minutes.
have I even have the ring to prove it. See my little
Oh, that's
Dolphins ring that
beautiful.
I have.
Oh,
Um, yeah, but I do follow the Bears just because they're, I can go to games easily there. I'm not
yeah.
going to jet set to Miami to go to a game. So, I mean, I wish I could, but I could stay with Hope. She lives down there. But she's always like, come down to a game. And I'm like, I wish I could. But yeah, so I do follow the Bears, and I went to a couple games last year.
Oh,
So
nice. Yeah, I
Nice.
went to Chicago for the first time in July. Beautiful city. I was like, wow.
why
Yeah.
didn't you say something?
Well, I because I already have my itinerary
Car-
made. So
Carla? Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
Carla
no,
made me part of her itinerary.
no,
So,
because my girlfriend before she moved here to Houston lived in Chicago for 17 years.
oh
So she had
wow.
made an itinerary for like I really didn't have much to do other than what she said to do because all her friends
That's
were
the
there
you know what,
and
Tip?
I
That's
was
the
like,
way it
okay,
needs to be.
right.
I
I was like,
totally
okay.
understand. She's
And
right.
I never been to Chicago, so I was just kind of like that kid, like okay, like I didn't know, so I was like, all right, let's
I
Did
go.
you
might
have
go for the
fun?
wedding
Did
soon.
I do what?
Yeah. Did you have fun?
Hell yes, I love Chicago.
Yeah.
I ate at Portillo's. I ate a Portillo's
Oh
hot dog.
yeah. Okay.
And yeah, I did lot of sightseeing. Went to the Bean. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. I love Chicago. It was beautiful.
Tip, if you had the power to change one event in your life, what would it be?
Um, ooh, um, the power to change, like I guess
Any
the
event
power.
in your life.
Yeah, it's like I guess the power to change um my man. Okay, like this is okay. Now you guys said you're gonna come with some tough ones, and you did. So I guess for me, it would be maybe being able to communicate more with people like this, face to face, and to even do it more. Maybe be able to go to certain things like um, expos or like they just had the FGSA or FGSA, FSGA,
FSGA.
FSGA. Yes, they just had the FSGA. Being able to do things like that. I'm at a point in my life where I can't do that. I got too many, you know, obligations. But it would
Yes.
be really nice to be able to do that. Like, just Not at the
And that
drop of a
time will
hat,
come. Yeah, that
but
time will
not
come though,
not
right?
at the drop of a hat because you always have to plan for things. But I would definitely like to be able to do that more. Things like the expo. Greg mentioned the Scott Fish live draft.
Yeah, did you sign up for that?
Yeah, I did sign up for it. Hopefully, I get to make it to the Scott
Yeah.
Fish Bowl. And if I do, then I would love to do a live draft with that because I think live drafting is so much fun. But it would be more being able to travel or see people more face to face for content creating.
So you
That's
did
amazing.
sign
Thank
up
you.
for the live draft in Houston
I,
then.
I signed up for the Scott Fish Bowl. I haven't signed up for the
Sign up
live
for
draft. So,
if you go sign up for that live draft, I'm telling you, you have a better chance of getting
okay,
in.
okay, I'll do that.
So yeah, I did the Chicago draft last year, and I'll tell
Okay,
you what, I had the best time. It was so much fun. You definitely need to go actually sign up on the form for Houston.
okay,
There'll
I'll
be a
do that.
button on there.
I'll do that this
Yeah.
evening. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Um,
Heck yeah.
I know we're getting close to time, but if you don't mind, I want to ask, like, you write about the Raiders. Where did that come from?
Where did the Raiders love come from? Bo
Yeah.
Jackson.
Oh, that makes sense. Total
Yeah, when I
sense.
was a kid, I don't know if you guys remember, and I would, and if somebody remembers this show back in the day, there was this show called All Stars. It was a Saturday morning cartoon. It had Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, and Bo Jackson. Those were the three main
I
characters,
remember that.
and they went and saved the world. like like I always but before
They
that, I
kind
remember.
of did, honestly. They
Yeah,
kind of
like right,
did.
right. So like they were beating up all the bad guys and stuff. And I remember watching Bo Jackson play baseball and then him playing football. And I was like, oh my, like I was like, this is the way I want to run the ball. Like I want to play with it, like this guy. And then I saw his jersey. I saw that black and I saw that silver, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice."
Yeah.
And I was like, I just remember being a kid, being like, "Man, all right, I want to follow that guy." And my dad was like, "Oh, that's Bo Jackson. He went to Auburn. He's this, that, this, da, 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 da." And yeah, so that's kind of where it started. And I started following them since then. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? He played for the White Sox, and I went to a game, and man, I've got great pictures. This was back when you actually had a camera that you had to go buy film,
Oh
and you had
yeah,
to put it in there, and you had to take it to Walgreens. They had to send it out somewhere
yeah.
to
Right.
have the pictures developed. They were barely color, okay? So I mean, that's
Oh
how
my
long
God.
ago that was. But I was there, and the Sox were losing, and he had a hit that was the game winner, and he was running off the field, and he literally took his helmet off and shook it at me as I took the picture, and it was amazing. You know what? I'm going to send that
Wow.
picture to you.
Heck yeah, I want to
Nice.
see that.
I mean, that means I got to go take it out of an actual photo album that I have, and I got to scan it. But I'm going to do
Oh,
that for
Take
you,
a
Tip.
picture.
I appreciate that, Wendy. Thank you. I appreciate
What
that.
is a secret you have never told anyone? Tip.
Here it comes.
I mean, it's not
See
really
what you got.
it's not really a secret because my girlfriend knows it. So
But we
a
don't.
couple of a couple of years. Oh yeah, you guys don't. A couple of years ago, we both went to Brazil, right? And I never been, I've been outside of the country, like Costa Rica. I went there once, and then I went to on a cruise. I went one time or a couple times, but I never like flew more than like 4 hours, right? So this is a 10-hour flight. Um, so I was nervous. I'm not gonna even lie. Like I was really, really nervous the whole time. So we lean up to the day. When we get to the airport, I was like, okay, I got my passport, I got my IDs, I got all my stuff ready. All right, cool. We get to the TSA line. We get through TSA, and we're leaving the TSA line. And again, I'm still very nervous. My girlfriend's like, "Are you gonna be all right?" I'm like, "I like flying, but I just never flown for like 10 hours." And she was like, "Oh, you'll be fine. You probably fall asleep." I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right." So we got some food, and then it was probably about an hour and a half before our flight, and then I look at my wallet. I mean, I'm looking down in my because I had cash with me, so I'm looking down in my to get my wallet to get all my stuff together. I can't find my wallet anywhere, so I'm all
Oh
freaking
no.
out now. And I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't find my wallet. I don't know where it is." She was like, "Well, how did you pay?" I was like, "Oh, I paid cash," because she had went somewhere else while I went to go get the food. And she was like, "Oh, well," she was like, "You need your wallet. We gotta get it." I was like, "I know. I don't know where it is." And so we walk all the way back to the TSA line, which was like, I don't know, like a mile away, and they're doing construction. So we walk all the way over there, get go back to the TSA line, and I got this big old backpack with me that's got a lot of compartments, right? So she's like, my girlfriend's very organized, very just me. I am organized, but very dysfunctionally organized. Um, so she's like, "Well, look, check." She's like, "Well," at this time she's starting to get nervous because it's like 45 minutes till the flight. She's like, "Well, just check your bag again." So I'm checking my bag and I'm like frantically looking, not like actually checking. I go to the guy, one of the main officers. I say, "Can you check your camera, see where I left my wallet?" He checks the camera. He's like, "There's no wallet because it's a red wallet, so you can see it." He was like, "No, there's no wallet." He was like, "Where were you?" I was like, "I'm right. I was right there. That was the person that checked my passport and everything." He was like, "No, there's no wallet." And then here I go. I take my bag and I just dump
Dump
it
it.
all out, and there goes the red wallet. And I was like, "Oh my god, okay."
Oh,
So that's how it started, and the whole time during that trip in Brazil, I kept losing that little wallet. Kept losing that wallet. Some places I would take my backpack with me. Some places I wouldn't, depending on what we were gonna do. But the last day, I couldn't find my wallet. I had a little bit of cash left over, but I couldn't find my wallet. Um, and my girlfriend was like, "Damn, Tip, you haven't found your wallet the whole trip. Why don't you put it in the same
I would
bag,
have been so
same spot?" She was
mad.
like, "Why don't you put it in the same spot every time? You've been looking for this wallet the whole damn trip." This is her going out. And then
She's right.
the guy, the guy driving the cab is like looking back at her like, "Oh, you done messed up." Like, and so that's probably like a secret you guys don't know about me. I'm dysfunctionally organized. Um, you know, I write everything down. I put everything in my phone. I because I have to. And then now my
oh,
girlfriend, because like our lives were becoming closer, our lives are getting busier. Um, she has made me do a calendar. Like she is like, "Tip, you're no longer gonna live your life without doing a calendar on your phone." So
yeah.
She
and
sounds like a darn smart woman, Tip.
she is brilliant. She is exactly
I
what I need
like
in my
her.
life. Yeah,
I
no,
like her.
she's awesome. Yeah, she's exactly who I need in my life because she is the
That's
glue.
amazing. Yeah.
I can't wait to meet you both at the expo. And
Absolutely.
Carla.
Yes. Me
I
too.
haven't met Carla yet.
Oh, really? You guys? Oh, okay, okay.
I've never
Wow.
met
Yep.
you.
Dang. Oh, that's gonna be a
Scott,
beautiful reunion. That'll be fun.
Scott Fish bringing the people together, and
There he is. Yes.
Scott Fish, Bob Lung, everybody involved with that, especially Bob Lung for
Yeah.
the expo. My goodness, this is going to be
Yeah.
Can't
so
wait.
great. But
Yeah.
before
Yes.
we go tonight, Tip, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you?
Yeah. At Tip Major, you can, you know, go to X, check me out there. I do have some articles. I don't have any new ones out yet. But I have articles as well on Last Word on Sports. So if you just type my name into Google, Last Word on Sports, you can see some of my articles there. Facebook, Instagram, not as heavily involved on there, although I'm trying to work on getting there. I just like Twitter so much,
Yeah, me
or
too.
X. And then I'm working on getting onto Discord too. So I'm gonna start being more present there. But you can find me there on those platforms. But yeah, Thursday
Awesome.
checkdowns with Greg, and prayerfully soon, Bob Harris and I will do another show. We want. I would love to do one with him before the season starts, but I understand how busy his scheduling is and things like that. But definitely can't wait to do those with him as well.
I know that if he can fit it in his busy schedule, he will do that, Tip, because he's
Yeah, no,
just that kind of guy.
he's that dude. He's amazing. Yeah.
Why do you think I picked him as my bestie?
Hey, you know what? When you said that, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like, and then the cool thing is Bob like says it. Like he's like, oh,
He
my bestie's
does.
here. And I'm like,
He does.
this dude is amazing.
I'm
He's
so
so cool.
lucky. I'm
Yeah,
so
you
lucky.
are.
We've got a great set of people that just, all our people, all our friends that come in the chat here, they're here every week. We appreciate
Man,
everyone so much. So,
beautiful.
but, we want to say a huge thank you to you for coming on tonight, Tip. It's been just great getting to know you and be able to hug you
Hey,
pretty soon, in a few months. So,
yeah,
um, but
100%.
a big thank you to the Sports Affiliation for providing us with this platform so we can share and just get to know everyone. We really love that. Next week, you guys, we have, and you know what? I'm going to butcher their last name, so I'm not even going to try it. So I know everybody's going to know. You're going to know who I'm talking about. Next week on the April 10th at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. I'm Central, so I'm saying it first. We are going to have Kate and Michelle M. Okay, they'll be on next week, so I can't wait for that. Want to give a special shout out to JC. He was on before and talking to us, and he always gets us all taken care of for the show. You guys, he does everything
He
for us.
does.
He does everything for everybody. He never says no. Especially to me. He's my best friend. He better not say that. But we genuinely appreciate you, JC. Thank you. Wishing you all a good night and continued good health. And we will see you next week. Oh, Scampers made it. We appreciate you. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
Good
everybody.
night.
Thank you.
Peace.